The activities of different kinds of man. Many organs in man's body are similar in terms of functions to those of the animals that have 5 natural sense organs, resembling man in the 5 natural sense organs, but animals have 2 distinguished characteristics that are the same in man, namely the senses of touch and taste. The sense of touch for sexual copulation, to give birth to young ones. The sense of taste for eating, to live, to persist. Man uses tactile sensations to cuddle, cling, adore, to express love. It manifests the heart's feelings. The sense of touch in animals belongs completely to sex, but in man it is both love and sensual pleasures. Animals eat only to live. Regarding man, if an adult eats only to be full and cannot distinguish between good and bad taste in food, he still has unmannerly nature, for the characteristics of animals still exist in his flesh body. He only wants to occupy and seize without yielding. Animals seize, but man, who gets the heart and the mind, knows how to share things with others. The evolved man no longer has any more nature. Though the 5 natural sense organs belong to the flesh body, they are merely the means to develop the heart and the mind, and at the same time to enjoy what that is delicious, beautiful, pleasant, and happy in the natural world. The sense of touch is the manifestation of love. The sensual pleasures are the strong desires of love. The sense of taste is to enjoy delicious foods and drinks. These 2 senses are for the development of the state of body. The sense of smell is to enjoy fragrance. The sense of hearing is to take pleasure in listening to beautiful sounds, and the sense of sight is to enjoy beauties, colors, and appearance of the natural world. These 3 senses are for the development of the state of the mind and the heart. On man's face, the 2 lower sense organs, skin and tongue, develop the body, while the 3 higher sense organs, nose, ears, eyes, evolve the heart and the mind. Man's activities reveal the inner feelings and character outwards through the process of seeing, the vocal sounds, and the gestures. The process of seeing and the intensity of eyes light in the course of seeing. Looking with daze, gazing in a steady, intent look, this shows either disquietude or apathy or in a hurry. Gazing, avid, eager, desirous, greedy to seize, to take by force, or rancorous, irritated, angry. Gazing, then ceasing to gaze, means detesting, hatred, abhorrence, repugnance, or contempt. Looking with daze, being worried, troubled, extremely anxious, and fearful. Daze with weak eyesight means Thân is leaving out, the person will encounter danger or death. Footnote: Thân is the invisible potential energy of red blood animating in the heart. End of footnote. Looking with troubles, being worried, thinking about others' matter, wanting to leave the place. Looking curiously, being eager to know if the intensity of sight is unstable, the person is in suspicion. Looking hurriedly and vaguely, giving no care or doing without approval or preference. Speech reveals the states of the heart and the mind. Speech reveals the states of the heart and the mind. Speech includes sounds and thoughts, ideas. Vocal sounds show plainly one's heart, while the thoughts display one's state of mind. The pitch in one's voice, as well as its speed and nuance of a tone, demonstrate the moving or static state of the heart. The thoughts, ideas, reveal the state of the mind. the words get accentuation, emphasis. The heart fluctuates. There is a strong fluctuation of feelings. If no accentuation, the state of the heart is static, or the heart is in void state. Without fluctuation of feelings, there is only the brightness of the mind. A. Accentuation. The heart is agitated by feelings. Strong emphasis means the heart is fluctuating greatly. Much more accentuation with high speed of speaking means the heart is under excessive stress. B. Without accentuation, the heart is in a static state. The expressed words have no accentuation, but leisure in moderate speed. Peaceful heart, bright mind, the conscience reveals the presence of virtues. C. High pitch. The heart is fluctuating with such feelings as elation and joyfulness, high pitch and powerful intensity, anger, hatred, detesting, intense dislike, and animosity, very high pitch, being terrified, scared, horrified. Lower pitch. The heart is fluctuating with such feelings as worry and anxiety. Medium pitch. This degree of tone expresses the static state of the heart, or the heart is in genuinely void state. If the words contain only the meaning without interference of feelings, there is only the thought by the mind without the heart state. It is the tone of townscalls, of townsmen, of the purest mind, the supermind, and the supermind. This is the sound unmarked by individual feelings, but it is the tone of descendant and ascendant transmutation in unchangeable state, and it is called cosmic energy. D. Strong intensity. The heart is fluctuating with such feeling as joy, joyfulness, elation, hatred, anger. Light and weak intensity, fluctuation of the heart, showing such feelings as worry and hesitancy. Moderate tone, static state of the heart, genuinely void state. A. Swiftness in uttered words, fluctuated heart that expresses such feelings as elation, joyfulness, anger, hatred, deep worry, or terror. Medium speed in uttered words, static heart, or genuinely void state of the heart. The tone is related to the fate and position of a person. This is the sign of the state of the heart, which spreads out through the tone. The tone from the vocal heart, the tone is not deep but light, still belonging to individuals' feelings. The person must still undergo the cycle of fortunes and misfortunes because the individual feelings connect with the 5 basic elements in the natural world. If the feelings are right in the logical course, they get fortune's character. The deep tone from the genuine heart and the spontaneous character. It no longer belongs to feelings, but to virtues and town's characters. Belonging to yang and yin, the soul is exempt from the influence of fortunes and misfortunes, i.e., it gets out of the cycle of fortunes and misfortunes. It only remains as genuine fortunes for the genuine body, genuine virtues for the genuine heart, and genuine Tao for the genuine mind. The tone derives from different sources. Knowing the origin of one stone is to understand his fate, position, and state of life. The tone may come from the vulgar heart or the genuine heart, the vulgar mind or the natural character, the conscience, the supermind, the superheart, the superheart, or the cosmic character. The nature of the heart is displayed outwardly through the way of moving, standing, lying, sitting. Ways of movements of the body, running, jumping, walking with hasty, relaxed, firm or upright gestures. Normally, if a person walks quickly or runs, he is in an emotional disorder. His heart is not stable, but in a hurry. Walking in balance and without restraint, the person shows the unification of his heart and his mind. The coherent whole of the heart and the mind is the spontaneous character, which can avoid dangers. Although evils may take place, he can still avoid, or those events cause only inconsiderable injury or casual damage. Firm walking. The person gets a strong will, perseverance, self-confidence, and good control over his actions and emotions. Walking with upright movement, he is a solemn and righteous person. Ways of standing. In an inclined or upright position. Inclined position, the person is not enduring but perverting. He changes his ideas quickly. His heart is not stable. If the head sways, the person is deceitful and cheating. Upright position, the heart is firm and resolute. He is patient, has determined desire, and gets many virtues to become a great man. Upright and relaxed position, the person is living with moral life and spiritual life. Lying, curling up oneself or lying down at full length and extendedly. Curling up oneself, being shy, sensitive and hesitant in dealing with others, bashful, timid, having no determined resolution, living in a passive way, often listening to and performing others' will. Lying at full length and extendedly, a rude, impolite and aggressive person, fond of noisy and tumultuous places. He has no courage to suffer patiently, but he is reckless. Sitting positions, coiling oneself up, extended sitting position, inclined position, changing rapidly one's way of sitting, moving one's thighs. Coiling oneself up, the person cannot perform his tasks patiently and regularly, cannot achieve great works. If he is assigned with a task, he will miscarry it. Extended sitting position, overly showy, self-important person. Being over self-confident, he becomes pretentious and boorish. He has disagreeably rough manner of eating and drinking, and lofty speech. Inclined position, lazy person. He dislikes working, but likes idling only, and demands excessively. If he is entrusted with some task, he can do well at the beginning, then becomes disinterested and indifferent, and at last he leaves the work unfinished. Changing rapidly one's ways of sitting, the person is not faithful in his words, does not keep his promises. In case of a woman, she is not right, decent, and serious in her conduct. Sitting and moving thighs. Selfish person, taking care of himself without regarding for others, reacting hastily in words, thus offending and displeasing others, overly self-confident, pretentious, and overly showy. Moving thighs and fixing eyes on something or somebody in a steady, intent look, a wicked and dangerous person. In summary, unstraight movements, walking, standing, lying, sitting, speaking, seeing, are caused by the disunion between the heart and the mind. Because the state of one's heart is different from one's thoughts in one's utterance, there is no honesty. A person is just worthy whenever the state of his heart and his thoughts are unified, i.e., His words and his thoughts are the same as the state of his mind, his heart. The ways of using things and psychological thoughts. The one who desires to live in more physical comfort and ease than needed takes pleasure in sensations and gets a difficult temper. The one who lives in a fussy way, dandified, distinctive style or way of acting, is very fastidious, absolutely difficult to please. Why? Because the two above-mentioned types of people are restricted to a limited pattern, while the simple one is easy and sympathetic, generous and magnanimous, for nothing restricts or confines him. Helping or supporting others. To help others, one must know thoroughly their psychological state. Particularly to a conservative or obstinate person, we should not reproach or advise or explain to him, because, helping and giving him explanation, he feels annoyed and displeased. Helping and advising, he disagrees. Helping and reproaching, he hates and resents. Because an obstinate and stubborn person cannot see and know clearly the nature of his heart, nor understand the cause, but he only notices others' faults and sins. Therefore, he is likely to fall into devious and unrighteous disposition. Upon hearing the truth about himself, he does not accept the truth, but becomes displeased, vexed, or angry at the real state of matters and facts. On the contrary, of the righteous person, he hears true remarks or statements about his physical, moral, and spiritual life. He receives willingly and expresses his gratitude, because thanks to that, he can get more knowledge. So it suffices to say that the righteous person desires to know his real state in order to evolve, while the unrighteous one denies the truth about himself. The denial of truth leads him to degradation and debasement. Experiences in social activities. Experiences are related to feelings, and feelings in behaviors create consequences and effects in life. 1. Based on wisdom, knowledge, and experiences, one's conduct of life avoids annoyance, troubles, and disturbances. Wisdom is the consciousness of the mind and the conscience. Knowledge is the pure understanding of a person through books, methods of education, and professions. Experiences are acquired from working. The spiritual power originates wisdom. If seen in a wise young child, the wisdom is an endowed divine favor. Who that gets mental willpower acquires knowledge. Who that is laborious gains experiences. 2. Opposite to the wise, knowledgeable, and experienced behavior is the discontentment and uneasiness of the mind, which are common in today's living way. Vexation engenders displeasure, irritation produces hatred, anger originates animosity, rancor leads to acts of killing. When a meek person feels rancorous, he does not want to do harm to others. Instead, he causes harm to himself. He commits suicide. A vexed person is not conscious of his being. An irritated person brings about failure in plans and works. An angry person may not yet inflict any harm to others, but already causes harm for himself first. 3. Making people happy is to perform what that is beautiful, good, and genuine. Beauty ranks lower than goodness, and goodness is less in value than genuine truth, which already includes both goodness and beauty. Beauty, the external shapes, forms, and qualities that please the 5 natural sense organs, the mind, and the heart. Goodness, the internal and invisible beauty of the heart and the mind. The genuine truth includes outer and inner goodness and beauty. Therefore, the genuine feelings, i.e., the genuine feelings of mankind, either realized by words or acts, are perfect because they are both good and beautiful at the same time in the genuine truth. Everybody likes beauty, goodness, and genuine truth. If people are treated with evilness, badness, and undesirable quality instead of goodness, beauty, and genuine truth, they will become more evil and wicked. If we do not give attention to people's faults, i.e., forsaking all contradictions, they will not be evil or wicked, or their undesirable qualities will decrease. If we treat others with true love, they will become better, for they feel beneficial and know that they suffer no loss. To a little man, material profits make him appreciate. Therefore, using badness to deal with badness, it increases. Using the nil to cope with evilness, evilness ceases being. Using love to face wickedness, wickedness is gone and goodness appears. How marvelous and miraculous love is! Love dissipates controversy, disputes, and evilness, for it can give pleasures and peace to all. Behaviors in relations and dealing. Relations and dealing. Spending money in relations and dealing, this relationship will soon get disrupted. Sharing feelings with or expressing sympathy to others, mutual understanding is built, the relationship will last longer. Regarding and treating with favors and kindness, the relationship continues forever because there are pleasures and joys. Favors and genuine kindness are engendered by Tao and virtues because Tao and virtues are the origin of all elation and joys in life, and elation and joys get a perpetual nature. In this respect, Tao and virtues are the sources of happiness and the sources for evolution of the heart and the mind of man in happiness. B. The manners of utterance by common people. Normally, what that common people talk and perform are not right in reality. Without possession, he says he has. Possessing less, he says he gets much. This person shows off and boasts. He has but says he does not. Much he tells less. A humble or an unpretentious person. Both ways are not true, for their conduct does not correspond to the truth. He who pays no attention to his possessions, neither flaunts nor appears humble, is a righteous man. The manner of speaking by common people. Extolling oneself to bring down others, boasting one's own ability to denigrate or speak ill of others, defaming others to make oneself famous. Praising oneself and defaming others are to harm oneself. This cannot help one to evolve, but degrade him and acquire psychological sickness over self-confidence and conceit. Taking notice of his own insufficiency, lack of skills and goodness, then examining closely his own badness and imperfection, this person can improve. C. The deeds of common people. Making others dolorous and sorrowful, it is inhumane and cruel. Driving others into miserable situation, depriving somebody of his necessities for existence, an ingrate person. Causing deep stress, regret, and sorrow to grandparents and parents, an ungrateful person. On the contrary, making others happy, showing compassion or consideration for others, humane. Bringing comfort to others, benevolent, charitable, and kind. Making grandparents and parents happy, grateful. D. Wrong evaluation of life's values related to conduct in society. Some people rank sentimental, intellectual, and moral values higher than spiritual quality, while others give thoughtful attention to material values rather than moral nature. Wrong evaluation leads to improper behaviors in the way of living. Nowadays, most young people have no respect towards the elderly, no high regard to virtuous people. Considering intellectual values to be worthier than spiritual ones is to esteem knowledge more than virtues and town's deeds. Ranking material higher than intellectual and moral values is to consider the abundance of money more valuable than the power of intellect. Even worse, one desires to surpass others in terms of powers and advantages. Desiring to surpass, the person has no regard, respect, or admiration for others, instead despises them. No respect, lack of politeness, of proper social conduct, lack of reverence, impoliteness, disregarding, mocking, deriding, jeering at others, despising, leading to insults. Lack of politeness is the seed of disorder and confusion. It is the way to ungrateful manner, which is unable to maintain charitable nature. In a family, if there are impolite children, there are confusion and disorder in that dwelling. In lack of politeness, there is no hierarchy. Without hierarchy, there is disorder. Without order, it is confusion and troubles. When a person gets impolite, there is no respect and reverence in his heart towards others. Lack of respect and reverence gives rise to open disrespect and disobedience among the people. When the heart feels disrespectful, he does not want to help or lacks charitable nature. Wherever impoliteness and dirty and offensive language exist, licentious and incestuous acts occur. Wherever impoliteness and cruel conversations exist, inhumane acts, threats, coercion, robberies, and thefts happen. Wherever impoliteness and wicked language exist, murder and homicide will happen. E. The way to behave in troubled and disordered area. Chaoses, confusion, and disorders occur incessantly through mankind's history. Chaoses in wars, confusion of the heart and the mind in peacetime. In wars, there are killings, injuries, deaths, displacements, separation, pillage, plunder, rapes, destruction, which inflict agony to the body, the heart, the mind, and the soul of man. Wars are dangerous. Chaoses in peacetime. This is the complete disorder of the mind and the heart, although there are no losses, displacement, or separation. People cannot enjoy friendly relations. Having no good relations, human harmony does not exist. In such time, there are also robberies and thefts, which are not blatant but also serious. This disorder and troubles are caused by greed, selfish desires beyond reason, fornication, and strong impulses to get rich quickly. Consequently, violence overwhelms authority. If troubles and disorder exist in peacetime, then fames, benefits, talents, and beauties are the four main harms for living conduct. After war is peace, then peace and wealth, finally joy and peace. The latest state is the real happiness of mankind. Peace, end of hostilities. Peace and wealth, state of calmness and quietness. People can go freely without fear of losses and plunders. All are in easy conditions and comforts. No starvation, no disasters or calamities. Many occupations, works, businesses, and professions develop and expand. All of these enrich the society and evolve the sentimental, moral, and intellectual life. After peace and wealth, the state of peace and joy will follow. Peace and joy are the sources of real happiness. Everything is pleasant to hear, see, and taste. One feels at ease and enjoys many comforts. Many branches of art and skills come into existence and develop in order to supply for the sentimental, moral, and intellectual life, such as music, painting, architecture, sculpture, gastronomy, tourism, etc. People's life in peaceful and enjoyable time has no disputes, quarrels, or conflicts. All the time, people hear laughing, mirth, voices with musical tones, all that please the eyes and the ears. In society, wherever disorders and troubles influence the heart and the mind, one must know how to conduct his way of living. Money and resources are less important than profession, but experience of living is worthier than profession. Normally, when we are wealthy, we feel happy. When we lose or have no wealth, we feel sorrowful. Being fortunate, man becomes wealthy. Being unfortunate, the resources end. Lucks and opportunities take place without man's labor, effort, perseverance, experience, will, or intention. Lucks and opportunities come out of the blue, unrelated to man's thoughts, talents, or capabilities. They occur occasionally. When being fortunate, one must not consider fortunes as being attributed to his own quality or profession. He has no right to become proud of this. Therefore, putting confidence upon chances is to believe in illusion. This will easily cause loss of hopes. Being despaired, one is likely to be enticed into wrongful conduct, and it is hard to move back into good way. By luck, occasionally one gets wealth, but one's profession is useful throughout his life. Profession is gained by talents, ability, patience, experience, and labor. It is called acquired ownership. One is not to be deprived of these qualities. Therefore, profession is more precious than money. For that reason, why does one not prefer and retain things he can never be deprived of, instead of running after transient things? Thus, one has to create and maintain those of great value, and these distinctive qualities cannot be captured or despoiled by avaricious and covetous people. These precious things are knowledge and experiences of profession that are hidden in one's brain and stay out of sight of greedy people. Many professions are useful and beneficial to mankind. Other improper occupations cause harm for the society. Thus, one must select, after cautious consideration, a good profession to learn and train oneself for, than to help others. Even having a good occupation, if one does not know how to behave, it is hard for him to achieve great results. Below is the way of behaving harmoniously in society. Do not foment or incite animosities, resentment, hatred, anger, sorrow, or affliction by others against oneself, but instead act in a desirable way to obtain admiration, love, friendship, and sympathy of others. If one gets animosities from others, they intend to attack or harm him. If one gets rancor from others, they aim to kill him. If hatred, they plan to hold back one's purpose or hinder one's progress. If irritation, they sabotage and ruin. If jealousy, they defame him. If sorrow, they do not want to cooperate or assist. If anger, they do not want to meet. On the opposite, if one gets many others who love and understand him, they will help him and give him what he needs. Fames, benefits, talents, and beauties get both advantages and disadvantages. Fames, the one who intends to show off or praise himself makes others jealous. Being resentful of success and reputation, they begin to hate and look for ways to harm. Becoming famous by talent and virtues, one is given reverence. Getting known for extraordinary talent and genius, one is admired. Being widely known by wealth, one is given consideration. Being renowned by beauty, one is liked. Wealth, the one who possesses abundant resources without others knowing about it, that person is secure from danger. On the contrary, the one who displays pretentiously his wealth makes people hate him. In a certain period of his existence, he will undergo dangers and troubles. He will not be safe. People either ask for help or borrow or try to usurp. Acquaintances come to ask for help, and unacquaintances want to usurp, making him uneasy. The one who has no resource but boasts as a wealthy person also causes harm to himself. Geniuses and talents should be used to serve people in order to evolve them. Beauty is appreciated and admired by people, but one should not avail oneself or take advantage of one's own beauty to cause pain or hardship to others by trifling with their affections or acting playfully or flirting.